This is day 14 of 365. I want to kick this off with congratulating my friend Paula Lafferty. Tomorrow is her release date, but because of the way that Amazon does Kindle releases, they release at midnight at local time on the release date, which means that my friend Libby Weber, who lives in Okinawa, was able to log on to Amazon Japan, and her book is live, which means that Paula is officially a published author. Paula is a tremendous author. She wrote the book La Vie de Guinevere, which had a tremendous Kickstarter success. So really excited about that. The plan had been for me to release some videos this weekend, but this weekend was really actually pretty busy for me. The first thing I did was the Friends of Smyrna Library event. This was a relatively small local author signing event at a library here in Smyrna, Tennessee. And, you know, it was relatively sparsely attended. I'd say maybe 50 to 75 people came, and there were only about 20 authors there. But I had a really good time, and I did pretty well. I sold 9 books while I was there. I talked to quite a few people, and I really felt like I was engaging on a really meaningful way. Contrast that with what I did yesterday, which was go to the Southern Festival of Books, which is an annual book festival held in Nashville each year that's attended by thousands. And I would say yesterday I saw about 2,000 people wander past the tent in which I was offering books, and I sold 2 books all day. Now, I talked to a lot of people, but it does go to show that those kind of events are very, very different. Like, the smaller events, you're not going to see as much foot traffic, but you're also going to have a chance to make more of a connection with everyone who walks in, and there are also fewer options for someone who comes in. If someone has $50 in their pocket and they walk into that Friends of Smyrna Library event, there really are only a handful of tables that are going to have a chance of getting a purchase from them. Whereas somebody has $50 in their pocket and walks into that Southern Festival of Books, there's just countless opportunities for them to spend their money even before they walk up to your booth. So, you know, it was okay. That is one of my goals this year. I want to do more events. I think that it's important for me to start getting good practice, and I'm going to be selling Extraction soon, and Extraction has such a great elevator pitch, I feel like it'll be a lot easier to do so. The other thing I wanted to talk about today is my wife was telling me, and a couple friends backed her up on this, that I have a little bit of a superpower when it comes to local signings. The majority of the authors I've met are very, 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 very much self-professed introverts. They are more comfortable behind a keyboard. They are not as comfortable in person, and it takes a lot for them to get out there and reach out to people and say, hey, I wrote a book, you should come talk to me about it. And I am not that way. I've been an extrovert for quite a long time. I love talking to people. I love engaging with people. I love meeting new people. And definitely at the Friends of Smyrna Library event, I could see that made a difference, that I was willing to reach out and talk to people as they came by. I was excited to talk to them about my books. Contrast that with some of the other tables, and so here's what I want to say. If you're an author, you go through this incredibly long, incredibly difficult process to bring your book from that first idea to fruition, from when you're holding it in your hand. And I don't ever want anyone to question what an accomplishment that is. But I have definitely seen on the part of some of the authors that set up at these different book events that they have this belief that they have done their part, that they wrote the book, and now the fact that they accomplished this thing should be enough for people to come up to them and say, I want to hear more about your book. I want to learn more about your book. I want to buy your book because you wrote this thing. You did this huge, huge thing. That is deserving of my attention and my time. And I would love for that to be true. It would make everything so much easier. But the fact is that I think all of us know that that's very much not true. The fact is, most of the time, people aren't going to care about your book in the slightest, even if they get a chance to look at it. Hundreds of people picked up my book and looked at it at the Southern Festival of Books. Literally hundreds. And most were very nice, and they'd read it, and they'd set it down. And that was it. They went on with their day. And the few that I did sell really did come about because I engaged with the people, and I asked them about what they like to read. And I tried to approach that conversation from the perspective of, here's why I think my book is going to be right for you. And I still am not very good at it. I went there with a good friend of mine, Alan Lewis, who Alan has been a prolific writer for quite a long time. In the booth, I think he had 25, 26 books that he's written or edited if they're short story collections, but he has a huge catalog. And here's the funny thing. Alan really doesn't do social media. He's not on Book Talk. He's not on Instagram. He's not on YouTube. He literally sells his books by going to events, and he does 20 or 30 of these a year. This is his bread and butter. And he's really good at it at this point. He knows exactly what to say. He's got the rhythm down, the patter. He knows how to engage with people. And he told me one of the big things is nobody there owes you a thing. That you have to reach out and connect with them and convince them that your book is going to be worth the 5, 6, 20 hours it's going to take them to read through it. And I feel like I've got a bit of an advantage on that because I do like reaching out to people and talking to them, but I've got a long way to go before I'm as good at it as some of the people that I saw at this book festival. So